from Heal at Home Pet Care, and I'm here with Lavinia today to talk about the summer season and your pet. So the summer is a time when we have the longest days of the year, the sun is the highest in the sky, we get the most warmth and energy coming onto the earth, and it's a time of outward expression, outward energy, abundance, and upward motion. And at this time of year, nature is taking what started out in the spring growing, and it's bringing it to its full fruition in the summer in the form of fruits, berries, vegetables, flowers. The trees are starting to make their seeds, and any animals that had babies in the spring are growing them on the fruits of the summer. In traditional Chinese medicine, the time of year of summer relates to the fire element. So the color is red, the body organ is the tongue, and the outward expression of emotion is joy. The times of day that fire is expressed is between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. and then again at 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So these are times to watch for any fire element symptoms in your pet. In ancient Ayurveda, this is the Pitta time of year when it is hot, pungent, there's a lightness and an intensity to the season. If you have a pet with a fire constitution, they're usually joyful, vibrant, they're enthusiastic, outgoing, and they're just ready for a challenge. They may also be very athletic, and they can also be a little bit assertive, maybe a little bit pushy, and very joyful. But if that joy goes into a manic state where it's overjoyed, it can become a mania, and it can then turn into a depression. So you want to watch your pet carefully for those signs. So the fire element relates to the organs of the heart, the small intestines, the pericardium, and the triple heater, which we'll talk about each one of those individually. And it also, the fire element rules the heart, the mind, and the spirit. So there are a lot of emotions at play in this element, and if any of them are out of order, that can create some kind of disease in the body. So we'll start with the heart, and in traditional Chinese medicine, that is considered the emperor of the body. And you can see how important the heart is in the body. It's pumping blood to all of your organs and your muscles and your skin. And if the heart stops, then basically life stops. So the heart is really important, and that's paired with the small intestines. So what the small intestines do on a physical level is they take food and break it down, starting the digestion process. And in Chinese medicine, they say that the small intestines separate pure from impure. And what that means is they're taking the minerals and vitamins and nutrients from our food, and they're taking what the body needs from it, and they're disseminating that through the body, and then what we don't need gets moved on to the rest of the intestines. The small intestines also separates pure from impure thoughts. So again, we're in the emotional realm. The heart is also the keeper of the Shen, or the spirit of the individual, and that's really important. If you think about things that we say in society, such as have a heart-to-heart with someone, follow your heart, there's heartbreak. So there's a lot of emotion associated with this organ. And my favorite explanation of this is that your heart is like a bird's nest, and when the nest is healthy and happy and it's beautiful, the birds will come home to roost, and they're very calm and relaxed and joyful. When the nest is in disrepair, or if there's some kind of trauma to the heart, or emotional trauma, or a shock to the system, or grief, the nest is in disrepair and the birds start fluttering about, and they can't get settled down. So that's kind of what it feels like when you are having an emotional turbulence in your life, and that can lead to disease. There is also something called the pericardium, which is the sac around the heart, and that's called the heart protector. And it also lubricates the heart, and its role is to keep the heart happy and joyful and healthy. So it keeps out bacteria and anything that's going to hurt the heart. And it's also sometimes called the court jester because it brings joy to the heart. And then there's the triple heater, which is more of a concept than an actual organ. And this is the heating and cooling system of the body, kind of like a thermoregulator. So if you have a thermostat within the body and it turns up and down when needed, and it relates to the diaphragm and the thyroid and the adrenal glands. So there's a lot of hormonal stuff going on there. And the time of day specifically for the triple heater is between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. And sometimes you can see changes in your pet. Either they get really hot that time of day, they might start panting before bed. If your pet has any cognitive or brain changes, there might be some hormonal changes and they act more confused at that time of day. So if you watch your pet carefully during these times of day, sometimes you can figure out what's going on a Chinese medicine level. So some symptoms you might see with your pet during the summer season. You might see excess body heat or increased panting, increased thirst. You may see some diarrhea or some constipation, so some changes in some digestion. They may also have some neck or forelimb or wrist issues, because all of those meridians for the heart, the small intestines, the triple heater, and the pericardium run down the arm, so it's a really important place for them. So they may have some problems there. You may see some problems with acid reflux, burping, heartburn, kind of again that upward motion. And if your pet has any heart problems, they might have heart palpitations or shortness of breath. And in that case, you want to keep them out of the heat of the summer. Some of the more emotional issues that you might see in your pet during this time of year is a lack of joy, which again, like I said, can turn into either, like, you can have a mania where they're in a manic state and that can turn into depression, or you can just have a depression. You can see insomnia, confusion, agitation, exhaustion, nervousness, restlessness, irrational fears. So you can see it's all these kind of like fluttering bird type of emotions that you would see. During the late summer, you might see things where it's getting hotter, it's damper, and there's a heaviness in the air. And that's when we're starting to get into the earth season. So you can watch the video on the earth season to prepare your pet for that time of year. So if you want to keep your pet healthy during this season, the best things to do are to get up with the sun and take advantage of the sun's energy early in the day, and then take a rest at midday when it's the hottest part of the day. You can add swimming or water activities to your pet's day, or put out a sprinkler, or even like a little pool if they enjoy that kind of thing. For eating, don't skip meals. You want to keep the meals, but keep them lighter meals, because the body is still digesting. And don't give your pet any cold food. Cold food actually constricts the stomach and it causes a lack of appetite over time. So when you feed your pet cold food, this can cause digestive problems. So you still want to give them food, but give them warm meals. Like you can add things like cooling cucumber or watermelon or cooling foods to their meals. In Chinese medicine, there are lists that you can find of which foods are cooling, and some overlap. There are certain types of fishes and certain types of meats that are more cooling in the summer, so you might want to change their food source for the summer. And then you want to add social time to your pet's day. So make sure they're getting enough social time. The summer is a time of ease and joy and comfort, and it's a time for getting out and exploring and meeting new people and friends. So I hope this helps you and your pet enjoy the summer season, and we'll see you in the fall.